We all want to know, how can we, in this new world where we are slowly coming out of the pandemic, how can we think about keeping our families safe as we work, as kids go back to school, as we travel, hopefully soon enough?
Predominantly, testing is the main requirement globally with travel at the moment. There are a few countries who have requirements around vaccination and proof of vaccination, but actually very, very few. The bulk of them still are relying on testing. And so the United States has a requirement for COVID, for a proof of a negative COVID test for entry into the US, but there are other countries have similar measures or more stringent measures. Post 9/11, the whole world really got together on standard security practices. We're not getting together on standard health practices in this case, because there are a lot of rules are changing and they're driven locally, so they change very quickly. And so I think that the dynamic of the environment is important, and I think therefore you just have to watch for the updates and get good sources of information, because it is changing all the time.
We test every teacher every week and every student every other week. Since we are back on campus in February, we conducted about 4,500 tests. Whether we need fresh up shots or different tests, everybody knows, everybody has an app on their cell phone, and we know how to do it.
Whoever could work from home stays home. Whoever has any symptoms, stay home and call occupational medicine. We put in screening at the gate so that only asymptomatic people could come on site in the first place. 6 feet apart, everybody gets a mask when they come on site, sanitizer everywhere. Those precautions really helped us in the beginning. We were only testing asymptomatic people. And since October, we actually had a significant number of positives in our testing program. That's 60. Having done this, we had 0 on-site transmissions due to getting these asymptomatic positive folks into quarantine. We started with a PCR test, and as of March, we moved to a rapid antigen test. We're up to, I think, more than 10 weeks with 0 positives.
There's not one solution to the problem of how we're going to control this pandemic, and there's not one solution to how we're going to get out of this pandemic. I think when we have frequent testing, PCR offers, as well as antigen testing, offers a rapid way that somebody who might be infected at a particular time. And this is where we have been working very closely with many other public health agencies to think about how we can blend different testing strategies, including, rapid antigen testing, where people can do this on their own, as well as antibody testing as a marker of exposure and potential infection in the absence of having, had a positive PCR test. Vaccines are incredibly effective public health interventions. They are the #1 intervention that saves lives every year. And they are incredibly safe. We monitor them at an unbelievable scrutiny. And it's just a real scientific marvel to see the speed with which we've made vaccines against this pathogen. And the faster we get these vaccines out, the faster we're going to be out of this pandemic.